Hello, good people of the universe. Jordan Arell here, making a video. It's been a few days, I know. I'm sorry. I know you guys are upset. I apologize. I said I was going to do a video every day, and I've had a lot of shit to do. Been doing shit. It's been good. Shit's good. But I've been busy, and I'm not sure I'm going to make the video every day. I've got a lot of shit I'm trying to do right now. And in fact, you'll find out some of the things I'm trying to do in this very video that I'm going to make for you right now. This video is going to be me going through my goals, through all of the things that I kind of want to do in life. I haven't looked at this list actually in a few months now, but it's relatively stable over time, and this is kind of just a bunch of the things that either in the immediate present or mostly in the course of my whole life I want to complete. So without further ado, let's go. So here I'm going to start doing this. Okay, my first goal: do more good than everyone else who's ever lived put together. So do more good than everyone in history combined has done. Create more benefit for the world, create more positive change, more institutions and ideas and good things. This is a very big goal, obviously, because humanity has already done a lot of shit. You know, I have to beat out the internet, I have to beat out language, I have to beat out science and art. It's not going to be easy, okay? I'm not pretending like this is my easiest goal by any means. It may even be my most difficult. But it's also the most important. That's why it's first. I'm kind of doing these from most important generally to least important, although a few of them are just ones that need to be done right away. But mostly it's like the big goals to the smaller goals. So this one is the whole point of my life. It's every waking breath I spend, ultimately, hopefully, moving towards this, because it's a difficult one. But I believe that if you believe something is possible, you're at least going to get a lot closer to it than if you don't believe it's possible. So we will see what happens on that one. But yeah, that's my first goal. Alright, the second goal: be enlightened, continually genuine as self, and at one with reality, which I've phrased that kind of to try to indicate to myself what I mean by enlightenment. It's a really difficult to understand phrase. Enlightenment means a lot of things to a lot of people, and what it means to me essentially is that I am continually, in my experience, I am aware of what's going on in my mind, in my emotions, my body. I'm aware of what's going on in my environment. I am being genuine. I'm expressing that as a coherent whole, as an integrated whole self, with myself in relation to all of my goals. This includes not only self-realization, which means awareness of all of those parts of what I am, but also awareness, or not, but also applying that self and taking action based on who I am and what I believe, so as to produce the highest possible good, to produce what I just said in the previous goal, you know, to create good things. So this goal is be aware. It's essentially awareness of what's going on, continual mindfulness, you might say, it's another word, of everything basically that's going on. And another way of conceptualizing this is eliminating your ego. In other words, eliminating the restricted small self, which is a psychic sort of barrier you use. You separate yourself out from the rest of the world and fail to see how everything is interconnected. You fail to see how your consciousness is essentially non-personal, and the same consciousness as every other consciousness. It's a very narrow sort of view of life. And so another way to think of this is that you dissolve your ego back into pure consciousness. So rather than think of yourself as this separate little me, this I, you conceptualize yourself as part of the whole of humanity, and then act from that awareness of your consciousness as one with the whole universe. Again, it has to be continual. One of the main hallmarks of enlightenment, you might say the core or the single thing that all different conceptions of enlightenment have in common, is that they all seem to say it has to be continuous. It has to be always present. It has to be whatever the state of mind or state of being is, it's always here. And that's enlightenment in a few different, there's a lot of other definitions, but it's essentially just a spiritual, continual state of the highest possible human state of consciousness that you can achieve. So that's my second goal. Be enlightened. Become enlightened. Live my life from an enlightened state. Third, heal 300% from circumcision trauma. This is one I'm really focusing on now. I hope it doesn't consume a lot of my life. I've been focusing on it for a long time now, and it's really difficult. Circumcision trauma, genital mutilation is a bitch, and I'm trying to address that trauma and that pain of having had that happen to me, and then learning that happened to me, and all the associated horribleness of living in a culture where genital cutting is assumed to just be a normal thing that we do, and no one has much empathy for you or understanding, and you're kind of left to your own devices to figure out how to cope with having your genitals mutilated. So I'm here trying to figure out how to not just heal that 100%, but heal it 300%, meaning I want to be infinitely better than I would have been, 3 times better at least, on whatever that means, but basically as a whole person on all counts, be 3 times better sexually, emotionally, confidence-wise, socially, spiritually, in every way than I ever would have been had I not been circumcised. So that's healing 300% from circumcision trauma, something I'm working on. Definitely not there yet, or even close. I've been working on it for a long fucking time, feeling like I might just give up on this one, but I'm sure it will come around eventually. Especially once I can physically heal my circumcision by restoring my foreskin or regenerating my foreskin. I think that's a huge component in the healing, as well as healing society as a whole and informing people about this horror and ending it once and for all. I think is a integral part of that healing. So it's a physical healing, a collective healing, an emotional, personal healing, a relational healing. I've been dealing with my parents and other things, so there's a lot of pieces to this. Sexual healing, self-image, etc., etc., etc. Goal number 4. I'm not actually going to number these because I'm going to lose track of numbers really quickly, but create a dazzling, integrative, personal website. This one is kind of, it's definitely an immediate future kind of thing. I think the next 2 are also immediate future things that I just wanted to do right now, and so they're at the top of the list. But create a dazzling, integrative, personal website is just a representation of me and who I want to be. This is part of that project, actually. You know, putting myself out there, putting out the my goals, my image, my creating something to aspire to, creating a sigil of the life that I want and the person that I want to be, and then taking action to move towards that. But creating a website is a big part of that, and having a place, a hub for all of my content, all of my ideas, all of my projects, and a place where people can get to know who I am, and and this will evolve over time as other forms of cataloging my work. It's actually a really important project, which kind of starts to merge into the next one, which is, or not the next one. The next one is clean everything, minimalize, and keep things clean and minimal, which is just keep everything like straightforward, like don't have 80 tabs open on my phone, don't have things totally disorganized and all over the place, and too much going on, but keep focused on what I actually care about and want to be doing insofar as is possible, so that I can really squeeze the life out of the juice out of the things that I actually want to have, rather than being what's the word I'm looking for, inundated, buried under garbage that I don't care about, and this involves physical space. It involves cleaning my room, cleaning my house, email, fucking people in my life, relationships, tabs, as I said, organizing my computer, any space of events that could be extraneous stuff that I bullshit that I don't want, weed that shit out and keep it that way. Again, this is just something I want to do right now. It's not like this is one of my most important goals in my life, although these are kind of necessary things, I suppose you could say. And then the next one was organize all my personal notes and keep them organized, which is again very closely related to these two, which is take all the stuff that's the most important to me, all my ideas, all my values, which I've mostly collected in notes to some degree or another, and organize them so that I can see them all and kind of have a feeling of who I am and what I believe. And also creating these videos is a part of that, which is learning to, or is a part of the website, I guess, more so, but related. It's expressing the notes, expressing who I am in another format, so as to get practice at expressing and embodying what I believe in. Cool. Now back to actual goals that aren't just shit that I have to do. Regenerate the male foreskin. This one's probably my favorite, probably the best goal. Probably, like, if I just achieved this, I would be pretty happy with my life. Honestly, if I just regenerated my own foreskin, that would be that'd be plenty. We can end it right there, guys. I'm done. Like, fuck changing the world. Fuck that shit. I just want my fucking penis. Yeah, regenerate the male foreskin. I'm working at Foragen right now. I've done their podcast in the past, and right now it's looking like, we'll get it done eventually. It might take some time. It might take a number of years. It's possible it could take decades. It's really hard to say. We need a lot more money than we have. I don't know if it will be millions, or if it could be hundreds of millions. It could, I don't really know. I don't know if anyone knows. It's a huge project, and we need we need help. There are I can't remember anymore. I think 1 billion is the right number. Around 1 billion men in the world who have their genitals mutilated. A lot of them don't care and are fine and whatever. It's like, I think a lot more are finding out day by day, and as the issue of circumcision continues to be more well understood and well known, there will be an increasing number of people in the generations growing up right now which are still largely being mutilated around the world, and these people will want their foreskins back. So it really is a colossal need to help men who have had their genitals mutilated to regrow that part so they can experience their sexual pleasure as nature intended, which I believe is infinitely better than having the most sensitive part of your penis cut off. I personally believe it's good to keep the whole thing, and that and I know there are a lot of men who agree with that and would really like it back. I talk to them every day when I answer the Forge and emails, and these men are desperately, it's ruining millions of men's lives. Millions of men are basically incapable of sex because their circumcisions are so horrible, and the rest of the men could have even the ones that don't know about it, could have much better sex lives. And so, yeah, regenerate the male foreskin. It's a big task, but really we have the infrastructure in place. We mostly just need the money, so that will be finding a way to either get Forge in the money and help them generate it, or just get the money myself and then donate it to ForaGen. Alright, next goal. Attract, seduce, and marry the love of my life and mutually inspire each other to grow. So I don't want just any chick. I want a woman who will inspire me, a woman who will make me want to be the best version of myself I can, because she's the best version of herself, because she's unbelievably amazing and incredible in every way, every day, and someone worth living for. I'm not going to make my life depend upon a woman. I could be completely happy without a woman at this point, and but nonetheless, I don't think there's any single thing besides having my whole penis that would make me happier than having the woman of my dreams. And I've met a few women in my life who have really inspired me already. But I believe there's probably women out there who I haven't met who are even a million levels above anything I've ever experienced. And so I want to meet that woman, find her, seduce her, make her my own, and change the world together. Furthermore, I need someone to raise my kids. Not trying to be what's the word, chauvinist or anything, but I have a lot of shit to do. I'm going to be changing the world more than the rest of everyone in all of history has done to change the world combined. So if I could get a little bit of help with the kids, that would be good. We could get a nanny too if my wife wants to work or whatever, I guess. Whatever, dude. It's up to you. I'm not trying to impose on you before you even exist in my life. But point is, I want to have 3 kids who grow up to be world leaders in their own right, as well as promote a vibrant, energizing, inspiring, free family outside of just my kids. And so that's my next goal. And again, I don't want to just have kids, just random kids who are just random people who I have nothing to do with them. I want them to be like my kids. I want to influence who they become and give them complete freedom to be whoever they want, but also inform them about, also show them, give them an example of how you can be in the world, and hopefully inspire them and show them why they should be like me. Not like me, that's the wrong way to put it. They should be as original as I am. They should be as their own person as I am my own person. They should be as inspiring and powerful and free and loving and whatever in their own unique way. I hope, but I want to have kids, and I want them to flourish. And it's a tight rope of what I believe is flourishing, You know, it's like I have a vision of what flourishing means. I can't imagine being happy personally without really contributing to the world. Maybe my kids will want to be Hitler though. I don't know. You know, who am I to say what the? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to fucking read this goals list here. I'm sick of people judging me. You guys, get off my back, Jesus. All right. Next one. Live in San Diego in a 3-story house, 9,000 square feet on the beach, jacuzzi, private chef. That one's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's pretty humble. Like, it's not 1,000,000 square feet. It's 9,000 square feet for fucking 3 kids and a chef and San Diego, man. Maybe Ireland. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a few houses. Australia, you know. I don't know. This is just basic kind of stuff. San Diego, good place. Warm climate, you know, something like that. On the beach for sure. Definitely want to live by the ocean. All right, next one. Be best friends with the 10 to 20 top change makers and thinkers in the world. So this one is non-negotiable. This one's important. This one is really critical to my other goals. If I'm going to change the world, then I need to have a network. I can't just like go and change the world all by myself. Yeah, I'm just gonna rearrange this whole thing and fucking fix it up, make it great. Like, no, I need a network. I need a core team. I need a group. I need a pack, a rat pack of world changers. And so I want to be best friends with the 10 to 20 top most influential people in the world, and communicate with them regularly, be good friends on a personal level, on all levels, really love each other and get along, and kind of a Bill, what's his name, Bill Campbell kind of thing. Like, I'd like to be the coach who like helps everybody be their best selves and like makes everybody like 100 times better, except more in like the social change, social entrepreneurship, world leadership, I guess the tech world too, tech, everything. I want to be at the center of everything, fucking integrated, just like on top of shit. Be the world's first trillionaire, produce $1 trillion in value, not actually accumulate that. I gotta update this. What was the number? 10 quadrillion. Sure, I'll be the world's first trillionaire. That may still happen, but I don't really care if I'm the world's first trillionaire or not. More importantly, I want to produce $10 quadrillion in value for the people of the world. So that would mean right now there's like, what is it? There are $100 trillion worth of value is the global GDP, I believe. 20 trillion is the US GDP. 100 trillion is the global GDP. So what I'm trying to remember how this was. It's something like double. Yeah, I think it's double the productivity of everyone on Earth for the last 100 years of my life. So from age 50 to age 150, by the time I'm 50 years old, I want to be doubling the amount that everyone on Earth produces. And this doesn't have to be exact starting at that time, but on average, from that time to the time I die 100 years later, I want to double the amount of value that people on Earth produce for 100 years. I think that's right. Anyways, I figured it out, and it's $10 quadrillion worth of value. Because that would be 100 years of the amount of value that people are producing. So that's what it would be. I want to double the amount value that everyone on Earth produces over a 100-year period. I want to contribute, in other words, $10 quadrillion worth of value to humanity. That's just kind of a benchmark, you know, that I've set that is like, sounds good. It's very concrete. It's very like, okay, there's a way you can measure this. You know, I can provide self-development and spiritual and educational material and change social conditions so as to make people more productive, and I need a better measurement for this. The GDP is an easy measurement that we already have. This will probably evolve more as time goes on. I want to more than just double people's wealth. I want to double people's happiness. So if we can somehow measure how happy people are, then what I really want to do is increase the world's happiness by $10 quadrillion approximately worth of happiness to people in my lifetime. And then after I die, hopefully I'll produce quintillions, or I really like sextillion. Sextillion, that's 18 zeros. I think, right? Yeah, million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion. Sextillion is 18. Wait, no, that's not right. 21 zeros. So it's a lot. I'd like to produce that much value if you kind of like spread out my contribution after I die, but that'll be hard to determine what comes precisely from me. Anyways, I'm not gonna let this drag on anymore. Just produce a lot of value. Produce a lot of value for a lot of people. Make people happier, make people more productive, make the world a better place. You know, and this is just a monetary way of trying to peg that. Read a book a day. This one I'm trying to work on. It's fucking miserable. I've been reading a book maybe once every 10 days, once every week maybe. I think in the last year I've read a book every 10 days. I think I've read 50 books in the past year. So I just have to read 10 times more than I'm currently have been reading. It's a struggle. This one's hard. I'm trying to learn how to speed read and read faster, but it doesn't seem to be working. And it's like I'm not getting more time in my day. I'm trying to pack more into my day, so I don't know how this is going to work out. But I really want to read a book a day so that I'd read, 365 books a year. Again, live another 120 years. Read some 50,000 books or something. Would be, I think, kind of cool. Just, I like books a lot, and they make me more powerful. This is sort of an input more than an output. But I think inputs are equally valid and important. And it's something I also just enjoy. It's something I want to do. I fucking love books. And I'm sure as I continue reading, I'll get better and better at reading faster and faster, figure out what parts of what books to read, what to focus on. Eventually, I'll start having so much information in my mind, hopefully, that 90% of what I read in a book I already know, and I can just kind of skim through everything and still retain it all. And then I can read a book a day. Hopefully it'll take me a couple hours, and I can just absorb stupid amounts of information, learn about everything in every field, understand every field of study known to humankind. Yeah. Read a book a day. Eat vegan and stupidly healthy, but also super delicious, always. Basically, I'm already doing this one. Just eat vegan, no animal products because it's unethical and shitty, and I don't believe in it. And it's healthy. Well, it's not necessarily healthy, but I also want to eat healthy, which I do. I eat like quinoa and spinach, and a lot of protein, like plant protein, Go Lean cereal, and almond milk, and nuts, and that kind of shit stuff. Salads and yeah, eat extremely healthy, vegan, but also an increasingly healthy and vegan, increasingly healthy over time, increasingly delicious over time. This is why I need a private chef. I don't have enough fucking time to create, although I will work with my chef very closely, you know, kind of critique the food, really learn to appreciate the flavors, have him describe it to me, her, him, it. Hopefully we'll eventually create an artificial intelligence chef. But, you know, making food into an art form, and vegan food can be delicious. I already love my diet actually, but it can be even better. So, develop and maintain only extremely healthy habits in relation to diet, exercise, sleep, meditation, self-development, substances, social activities, social media, etc. So, I'm also doing this one decently right now. You know, exercise every day. Also integrate all these habits. So if I can exercise and at the same time dance, which is fun, which could also be a social activity, then that would be great. It's also a form of self-development. But you know, have great sleep hygiene, figure out how to do that, continue learning about diet, continue my meditation practice and improving my meditation practice. Use substances wisely. I don't really use alcohol and don't want to use alcohol, but you know, psychedelics or other things that I use for self-development or healing, or smart drugs, you know, if they're prescribed to me, I suppose. Just kidding. I don't do amphetamines, man. that shit's bad stuff. Legal meth. Social media, don't spend too much time on it, basically. Use it wisely, use it in a way that promotes my health and well-being and fun. Mostly I just don't use social media at this point because it never ends up being healthy. I always get sucked into it and it destroys me, at least a little bit. So anyways, and all other habits, just develop healthy habits that make my life better, so that I can have a routine that really energizes and makes me happy, healthy, powerful, effective, etc. Live to be 125. I have to update a few things on here. 125? Oh, fucking bullshit. Live to be 150. I know no one's ever lived to be 150 before, but look, we're figuring medicine out and stuff. We'll figure it out. If nothing else, I'll just manifest it by telling myself that I'm going to do it, and then it'll happen. So that's the plan. Live to be 150. Hopefully all these things I'm doing, you know, having low stress, having good social relationships, taking good care of your health in all ways are the best things you can do to live a long life. But hopefully we will also develop medical technologies, and if we haven't, by the time I'm in my 50s or 60s, I will invest a few $100 trillion to help extend my life so that I can do more good, because I kind of got to live a long time to have enough time to get all the shit done that I want to do. Alright, write 500 books, all of which outsell any book that has ever yet been written. This one's also pretty audacious. I like books, I like writing, and I want to write 500 books, all of which outsell any book that has yet been written, including the Bible, including anything. So 500 books, again, if I live, let's just say 100 years, even though it's more like 125, whatever. That's 5 books a year. So I only have to write a book every 2 months, less than that. And I don't think that's really that crazy at all. 12 books a year, or 10 books a year, like that's nothing. I could write a book a day, bitch. What I just read, I think Epicurus, was it, wrote 500 books or something like that. This isn't even good anymore. I'm kind of disappointed with myself for this goal, but I also don't know if I want to adjust it, because like I want the books to be really, really, really fucking good and outsell, and all of them, the worst of my 500 books has to outsell the Bible. So again, they have to be good. They have to each be a revolutionary gift from heaven, channeled through my receptive soul. And as I read, a book a day, that means each time I write a book, I will have read over 60 books. So like, I should have plenty of information. I should have plenty flowing through me and plenty to write about. Of course, I'm going to write about things that no one has ever thought about or wrote about before, that revolutionize the way that humanity thinks and acts, is the goal. And yeah, write 500 books. I like it. I want to have like a catalog of all my books. Also, there's other stuff I want to do related to that, but I'm not going to get into that here. With rewriting, basically, I don't know that we'll have books anymore. I think that should be obvious to anyone who's has any intelligence whatsoever. Books are we have the internet now, and it's kind of probably going to destroy books as they have been, because we can create other forms of content that are infinitely more intelligent and useful. And so I also plan to revolutionize, so that I won't actually have books, most likely. It'll be the equivalent of 500 books, but it'll be other forms of content that will be book-like, but it'll be very different. So, anyways, have the world's top vlog. So that's what I'm doing right now. Obviously, this is a vlog, and so far most of my videos have 0 views. I'm not doing great yet. I'm not doing great on any of these goals, though, So, that's not true. I'm doing good on some of them. Some of them need some work. This is one of those. I'm doing a vlog, and I'm proud of it, and I think I've got good content. Like, this is great. Like, who else has goals that are this stupid? Like, it's kind of funny and entertaining, if nothing else, even if everything I do fails. Like, just the audaciousness of it is in itself remarkable. Like, the absurd, self-deludedly, yeah, audacity, the bigness of my thoughts and goals, and attempt to bring together everything that a human being can, is, I think, I don't know, man, I'm just trying to do a lot with my life, and my thought is, if I can create content around that, give people some insight into Jordan Orell and what he's doing, and how I think, and create something worthwhile that provides value to people. My hope is that I can create the top vlog, have it also be entertaining, have it be fun, have it be whatever. So along with this, have the world's top podcast. So of course have the top 20 people in the world who are doing the most important. I'd have the president on, and then I'd have the biggest person in the name of tech on. I felt like it'd be like Jeff Bezos, and then Donald Trump, and then Johnny Depp on the next day. Of course, this would be in whoever are in those positions in like 20 years. Obviously, actors are important, artists, etc. are world changers as much as anybody else, because of the influence they have. Maybe it's more the screenwriters, I don't know. Could be the actors too. Anyhow, influences of all sorts on our culture, on the world. On my podcast, the thought here is the vlog is more of just me saying whatever the fuck I want to say. The podcast, wait, did I say the vlog is me saying what I want to say. The podcast is probably me interviewing people, having conversations with people. Although that's not necessarily true. A podcast could be singular, a vlog could be plural in terms of people on it. Create an Amazon of self-development that measurably, dramatically, optimally increases planetary consciousness. Jeff Bezos is one of my top heroes. I love the guy. He's just he's so funny. He's so I just like him. He's got a good mystique, So I'm gonna fucking destroy him. I'm gonna kill you. Okay, I don't want to sound violent here. I'm going to fucking run you against a wall, Jeff Bezos. I'm going to slit your throat. Again, it's coming off really violent. I'm going to demolish. I'm going to outcompete you. That sounds better. Jeff Bezos, I love you so much. I'm not going to physically harm you in any way. I'm just going to destroy everything you've created by outcompeting it and outperforming it. I mean, I probably won't start with retail. That will be a kind of a thing that comes roundabout. What I'd really like to start with, or one of the main things I'd like to do at least, is self-development. Create a platform on which every form of learning, so this will include education, it will include spiritual teachers, it will include business advice, it will include every form of self-development you can think of, all rolled into one massive behemoth of, like Amazon. So an Amazon of self-development. I don't know what this will look like. I have a lot of ideas. It will be, it could use artificial intelligence. I don't know exactly what this will look like. It's gonna depend on a lot of factors. But I want to create a place where you can go, and whatever you want to learn, whoever you want to become, whatever you want to do with your life, you type it in the search bar, and it says, here are the things that can help you do that. Here are ratings, here is how effective this will be, here are what people have said about it, or here, again, this will be in the future, and it'll probably be much more, that's what Amazon is like. It might be much more sophisticated, so you can have a conversation with your computer, with this program, or it can read your thoughts or something, and then ideally there will be a database that has all of your history, all of the information that there is about you, everything you know, everything you've studied, so that it can automatically, based on you say you want to learn gardening, well, it knows everything there is to know about you. And so then it can automatically give you the best program and say, based on who you are, this will be the best program. You don't need to enter anything. I mean, there might be some freedom of choice, or kind of, it will explain to you why, but rather than having to try to figure it out for yourself, it will be an intelligent, I'm getting sidetracked here. Create an Amazon of self-development. Anything you want to learn, any way you want to develop yourself, it will help you do that in a way much like Amazon right now allows you to buy whatever you want in the world very easily, all in one place kind of thing. Build a social website where people can participate in creating a better world, rewarding them with financial and social credit. So this is something that may also change. A lot of this is open to change depending on the flow of events and the flow of my thought and my understanding and how shit goes. The basic idea here is to have a website that you can go on, and then you can participate in any social change movement or any societal improvement, any civic improvement, any way that you want to improve the world. So this could even include commercial. It can include really anything, but you can go on this website and it will be a hub for social and societal change. So you'll be able to see every project that's going on around the world. This will likely replace government. So rather than having some governing body who says, okay, you elected us, now we're going to make these roads, and then we're going to build this thing for you, and then we're going to have socialized shit, and it's all going to be, we're going to make it and then give it to you. It'll be like, no, like everyone participates in society. It's radically democratic and participatory, so that you can see it's a site where it's a human mind. It's a hive. It's like a thing. You go and you can see everything that's happening in the world, and you can look at the project. You can participate by giving information, by giving feedback, by giving ideas. You can just spout off ideas of new projects that people could do, and people can debate them. And all of this will be tracked by artificial intelligence, so that if you have a really good idea that changes the world, even if you don't participate in creating it or doing anything beyond just having the idea, it's tracked back to you using artificial intelligence that analyzes the language and everything that happens, and you get credit for whatever you do. However you participate in bringing any project to fruition, there's a formula, an algorithm that calculates what is the impact and how to reward people and incentivize them for participating in changing society. And then, of course, actually doing the projects. Of course, by then we'll probably have, machines doing all of the actual real-world action, although there will still be human management aspects of it too. But the idea of this is that most of it will be creative. Most of what is done in the world, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, because honestly I'm thinking some of this through for the first time. I haven't thought about this in a while. But in the future, a lot of this stuff will be creative work. And so this is actually a really good idea, because it will give people a hub where all of that creative work can be productive and rewarded. And it will integrate with social media. Again, there's social credit here, not just financial credit. So you have an account, or you have a reputation that's built up online, that you can see all the things that this person has contributed to different projects. Because of all of your contributions have been measured and tracked, when you participate in any project or participate in anything, your contributions will be weighted and anticipated, so that if you generally have good ideas, the algorithms will pay more attention to you and be like, oh, we should listen to this person. They have contributed significant things in the past. Yeah, I could say a lot more about this one. It will also replace the stock market. It will also replace currency. As I said, it will replace the government. Likely it will replace the commercial sector as well. So you can already begin to see how I really do hope to change the world in some positive ways that will be quite large, and use psychology, use a very a very sophisticated understanding of how people are participating and how to encourage people to participate in a way that moves things forward in order to create the greatest possible emergence of social good for the collective. Oh, this also all needs to be measured and tracked. So on this website there will have to be ways of tracking how different projects produce different levels of happiness and well-being for people, produce different levels of economic or different kinds of good, how well it makes different tribes or nations of people get along, how it increases, etc., 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 different measurements of societal well-being, and how different kinds of projects affect each other. There can be different kinds of currency that that operate on different aspects of environmental, of different aspects of social good, of different aspects of technology, or etc. It's really sophisticated. I don't know why I'm trying to tell you all this right now, except that it's a big thing. This one's pretty big. I don't know why it's so low down on this list. It's a big thing, but it could be more specific. I guess some of that could be spun off into other projects that are sort of separate although integrated. Anyhow, create a new learning platform that outperforms universities and traditional schooling, has much better information, is holistic, pragmatic, socially stimulating, massively accessible, and encourages lifelong learning. Doesn't that sound wholesome? I like this one. It kind of, as I said, Amazon of self-development would basically include this, obviously. A lot of these different goals could be separated into many sub-goals, or a lot of these could be combined into one goal. But I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. Learning is the most important thing in the world. This one perhaps could apply especially to kids. Did I say anything about parenting on here? Parenting is also equally important. Learning platform that outperforms universities and traditional schooling, has much better information, is holistic, pragmatic, socially stimulating, massively accessible, and encourages lifelong learning. So yeah, it'll just be a platform where you can go and it'll use artificial intelligence, I'm sure, to help you learn whatever you want to learn. Although there's a good argument to be made that you can't just have artificial intelligence control everything in the world, because that would be obnoxious and inhuman and not fun. People just wouldn't like it and they wouldn't want to do it. And arguably, learning platforms, online platforms, are already failing because of this. It's like there's all this information available, but people just don't like the format. They want to learn from people. So this could also be equally creating communities, and yeah, I think I actually implied that pretty well in here. It would have the best information that anyone in the world has, so it would have to integrate somehow the information from all different and the best ways of teaching. But it's holistic, so it educates the whole person: body, mind, soul, emotions, all different areas of life, not just these core academic subjects that are fucking practically useless. Every aspect of a person that matters, we can teach that. And it would be pragmatic, help people practically learn what actually matters, socially stimulating, so really help people socially develop and talk to each other and meet, and it wouldn't just be a fucking electrode or thing that you place in your brain that zaps you into learning it, whatever. I mean, maybe we'll have that too, I don't know, but this is more of a community kind of, or social type thing, hopefully. Social is an important thing. Massively accessible. Anyone in the world will be able to access it, hopefully. We should create a virtual space for this. That would be good. Because then anyone from anywhere in the world can enter into the world what do they call that? Not augmented reality. Oh, I forgot what the word for this is. I just read it recently. The virtual universe or something. Anyways, and encourages lifelong learning. So it wouldn't just be for kids, although the kids is the most important part to start with, but you'd be signed up for this thing and it would continue interacting with you for your whole life. And ideally it's not just like kids learn and then they stop. Alright, integrate. Oh, this is long. This is taking a long time. I'm like getting tired here. I have to go to bed in 45 minutes. Integrate daily life, business, psychology, philosophy, science, and art in myself, in teaching, and in theory. So right now, these areas are pretty separate. There's definitely some crossover, but like by and large, they're pretty separate. Life, daily life, like just living my life, business, psychology, philosophy, science, and art. So basically those will all be like one thing. One like one just daily life, business, psychology, philosophy, science, and art. You should really add social change to that. I guess that's included in business. I don't know, that's not included really in anything. I'm just gonna write that in here. Social change. So the idea is these things aren't separate fields of study that have nothing to do with each other. Psychology fundamentally influences philosophy. You can have a science of art. Art isn't just like this thing that's like kind of out there. Like there's a scientific way to approach everything in art. Everything in art can be reduced to science. Similarly, science is an art. Science is an art form. There's an art to it, and you can go about it in a very mechanical, like whatever way. But the great scientists like Einstein had an incredibly artistic, beautiful way of approaching it that makes it infinitely better. So you should approach science utterly as an art utterly as a science. Philosophy needs to be approached through psychology. Psychology, it all flows into each other. These things can't be just like, they're all the same thing in one way or another, and they have to be a sort of a neutral monism between them, where you can explain any one of these things in terms of the others. They're not separate entities. And in myself, the way I want to live my life, I want to not compartmentalize, but actually see how all of these fit extremely tightly integrated into one thing. There's probably other things here too, but these are some of the main things that came to mind. And then the way I teach, I don't want to say like, well, here's your life, and then here's business. It's like, no, your life has to include thinking about people and systems and commercialization and how energy flows from different systems to and between people and economics. That's got to be part of the way that you live your life. That's just a basic fundamental principle of being alive. Like, they're not separate. None of these things are separate. So the way I teach, I want them to be integrated, and in theory, I want there to be a robust theory that completely makes these things just melded together. Like, I could have one book where it's like you don't know what the fuck you're reading, but it completely gives a total outline of how you do all of these things integrated into one cohesive whole, so that it's like, it just is common sense. It's like, oh, I see how all of these fit together. I see how they're all part of the same thing. I see how all of them are, they're just different facets. They're just different aspects of the same singular whole. So a theory that really shows that, teach that pragmatically and and live it. Help forge the future. Fuck. Help forge the future of the integration of artificial intelligence, big data, neural networks, wearable technology, Internet of Things, social media, crowdsourcing, efficiency economy, idea meritocracy, integrating them with psychology, entrepreneurship, social good, and currency flow to make people always optimally fulfilled and evolving. So again, this one is kind of integrated into how I was explaining the other thing about the social change thing. I could integrate all of these goals into one fucking goal if I really tried. But the idea here is these are all important things, and I can see how they will all fit together. Essentially, with wearable technology and the Internet of Things, we will have data points on everything in the world, like to an absurd degree. Like there will be no such thing as privacy anymore. Sorry. Maybe there will, but it'll be it'll have to be unbelievably intentional to create that. Because we will have data points everywhere. That's the Internet of Things. Wearable technology, especially integrated into us, so we will perhaps have many electrodes in our brains, or have glasses that record everything we do, or have wearable technology wouldn't even really, because it's more like technology that's integrated into us will be even more likely. You know, chips in our skin or whatever, so that everything that is happening is recorded and processed, and this would be integrated with social media because everything we do will be put into this web of shit that's going on that will be visible. It'll all be in a database of big data, so all of these data points will be integrated together in an intelligent way. We'll only collect the data points that actually matter, and we'll get much, much, much better at determining what matters, which is ultimately what makes us happy and what makes us cohesive as a global population. Artificial intelligence will find ways of mining all of that data with intelligent algorithms, self-creating algorithms that swim around all of this data and intelligently produce parameters that we set. So it will figure out how to time that stoplight over there so that you can, with your feeling of anxiety, so that I don't know, it'll be really, really, really fucking complex, so that everything in the world is integrated together and works cohesively together. It'll be like there'll be a thing in your glasses that tells you, like, oh, you're gonna meet John when you go to the coffee shop, and so you should think about this thing. And I know you were already thinking about this before, but you should consider this that you haven't thought of, because the artificial intelligence will analyze all speech and language and all possibilities of different stories and things that could happen, synthesize it, try to predict, and you know, this could be unbelievably dystopian, because if you control the formulas, you could control everybody. But as I've said in different videos, as this continues on, people will grow more and more intelligent, and there will be many, pretty much everyone eventually will be able to look at the formulas, and it'll be open source so everyone can see it. I don't put the blockchain. Blockchain, obviously, that one's just a given, guys. Blockchain is so hot right now. Oh my god, okay. So artificial intelligence will fish through all of the data and help us to produce whatever goals we want. Happiness, obviously, but there will be other mitigating factors. and that'll take a lot of work to figure out. Data scientists will continue to be a thing more and more and more and more, till it's most of the population. No, that's an exaggeration. A lot of the population. Neural networks. Neural networks is just a part of big data. These neural networks will become more and more intelligent and trained by artificial intelligence. Social media will become infinitely more sophisticated, and oh my god, integrated with that social thing I said, the social website. Efficiency economy is an idea I've had that I haven't shared, but it's basically any time that an economic good could be produced that would benefit all parties involved, that will benefit the whole of humanity. It's like, and whereas if one person was acting, or this person was acting, they wouldn't choose that thing, or they wouldn't even be aware of it. But efficiency economy is saying there are efficiencies that could be had by everyone in the world integrating and working together. And if we think of the global population as a whole, all cohesively, and imagine how that could work, then rather than having these separate institutions and entities that are all looking out for their own good, we can start to see ways that we can collectively work together to create efficiencies that make us exponentially better able to work together as a whole. So that will become possible with all of this much more easily. Idea meritocracy, so whatever way of functioning works the best. How is this? I don't remember this idea very well, or how exactly I conceptualize it as fitting in here. But idea meritocracy is essentially whoever produces the best ideas gets credit for that. I kind of talked about this with weighted believability. Weighted decision making is how what's-his-face explains it. So if you have a history of making the best decisions, and if there are certain points in this whole web of things or people where we know this thing, if it's given a lot of power and freedom and autonomy, and if we really trust what it says or do what it says, or this person says or whatever, we know that this produces really good results because we've measured it from all of these different angles. And then, so then we pay more attention to that thing, and we figure out how to relate to that thing so as to get the most benefit from it. So idea meritocracy is, rather than saying everything everywhere has equal value and we need to measure everything and figure out all the different things and kind of democratically just make it all one big equal thing. It's like, no, we figure out where the points of greatest impact, of most intelligence, of whatever are, and then we really hone in and make the most of those points, I think is what I'm trying to say with idea meritocracy. Blockchain, I just said. Crowdsourcing. So there will be systems that whenever we have any problem, whenever we have any difficulty or challenge or struggle or whatever, we can crowdsource targeted pieces of humanity, however much or however much little we need to solve any specific problem. We can crowdsource from that whole section that's of particular interest in order to create a solution to whatever issue we're facing. And this whole thing is about crowdsourcing, essentially crowdsourcing life, crowdsourcing everything. Blockchain, everything will be recorded, everything will be transparent, you can see everything that's happening, and anyone can participate. radically accessible, radically transparent. Everyone has an infinite capacity or infinite opportunity for training themselves and for stepping up the ladder, so that, and again, with genetic revolution, people's intelligence will skyrocket through the roof, so that everyone will easily be able to understand all of this and see the whole thing, and there won't be these huge power differentials, but everyone will be able to participate. Of course, there will still be people who are much more active and people who are less, but it won't be like there are people living on less than $1 a day and then Jeff Bezos over here. Like, that kind of dynamic won't happen anymore, because everyone will have access to all the basic human rights and economic, everyone will have the basic minimum wage, what's the word I'm looking for? The Andrew Yang, universal basic income. Everybody will have their basic needs met. Everybody will have access to everything they could ever want to learn or become, and everyone will be have infinite intelligence and every other genetic thing that they could want will be given to them as an ethical necessity, so that there aren't these radical disparities. Integrating them with psychology, so we'll need to understand how people work from the inside. This is really fucking important for all of this. People need autonomy, for example. We can't just control everyone and tell everyone exactly what they're going to do, as communism has tried to do. You can't do certain things. Psychology has to be understood, and we have to take into account how people think, feel, work together. Entrepreneurship, so how to tap into people's desire to do shit and change the world and take action and make that a continually fruitful thing. Social good, obviously. And currency flow, so how do resources flow? Do we have resources? I think we probably do. And they flow based on probably rewarding good behavior. I mean, maybe we will have more radical revolutions in psychology or in the way we think about things, so that I think it's very possible we'll have sort of a step down or a step to the middle distribution, so that we won't have people who are billions of times more wealthy or trillions of times more wealthy than other people. We'll probably have the richest person in the world might be 1,000 times more rich than the least person in the world, or 100 times more rich, or 1,000,000, but it won't be 1,000,000,000 or 1,000,000,000,000. Is my thought. I don't really know. I mean, some people won't want wealth, and you have to, again, it's complicated, guys. Complicated stuff. And evolving. This is all evolving. This is continually trying to make people optimally fulfilled, and as people evolve, it happens. Win the Nobel Prize in Physics for finding the correct interpretation of quantum mechanics, which revolutionizes physics and our understanding of consciousness and reality. So this will obliterate everything, not everything. This will obliterate our understanding of the whole universe, if it works, if it's what I think it is, and it'll replace the idea of matter with consciousness, so that there is no such thing as matter in our understanding of physics anymore. Everything is just consciousness, collapsing the quantum field so as to look like there's matter. So ideally I'd win the Nobel Prize for proving that matter doesn't actually exist, and that the world is consciousness. This isn't like a oh, Jordan has these weird fucking theories and and like he just writes some weird books and people love him for it. No, it's like rigorously prove through experiment, that a very sophisticated and subtle theory of reality is true. And if there aren't any experimental results that can be made, or anything that can be proven about this, or it seems like this is just a crackpot hallucination I'm having, then throw it out and you can just cross this goal off the list. Maybe I'll do some other shit in physics. I like physics, but yeah. Be the world's greatest ever spiritual leader. Be the world's greatest ever spiritual leader. So, you know, transforming consciousness and the way that we understand humanity as a being, and the way that people think of reality and philosophy and consciousness and spirituality, into a radically, completely new thing that has never existed before, and help people on a very practical, everyday level live good lives from a place of spiritual, holistic, total connectedness with life. That doesn't exclude technology or science by any means, and doesn't include being human. It integrates every aspect of life completely, so that you can live your life in a wonderful, loving, fulfilled, happy, good way, and be happy and happy. Everybody will be under one religion called love. And if I could make that happen, I think I would be the world's greatest ever spiritual leader. If I could unite the world's population under the banner of love in the most radical, profound, true meaning of that word, so that humanity is one singular organism functioning as a unified, integrated, organismic whole. Be the most loving person in the world. I mean, with that previous goal, how could I not be? By definition. If love is to unify, is to see the unity of all life, all humanity, and then to act on that, and then to create the platforms, to create the ways for that to manifest itself in reality as a real thing, not as some like idealistic utopia or vision or hallucination or whatever. To be the most loving person in the world would be to actually manifest a loving universe, and to embody that in my own life with the people I interact with, which means understanding, which means being present and in myself, loving towards myself, integrated in myself, integrated with the people around me, able to hear people out and unify. Unity. Be the most playful person in the world. This one's gonna be difficult. I mean, like, with all this shit, this one's kind of like out there. It's just like, oh yeah, and I want to be the most playful person in the world. I want to be like Robin Williams on steroids. Like, I've got a long way to go on this one too. I think you can see already I have like an inkling of potential here. It's not something I've focused on a lot. It's something I need a lot of fucking work on, to be sure. But it's something that I think is a real skill you can develop. You can become more playful. You can become funnier, I think is... Do I have comedian? Yes, I'll talk about that later. But just be more playful. Be as playful as you can be. Be playful in everything I do, in these videos I create, when I write, when I produce content, when I... everything I do, when I live my life. I want to be playful and fun and entertaining and... Did I have, oh yeah, sorry, that's the next thing. A couple down. Be playful. Play, have fun, be myself, be an elf on the shelf. I don't know, be playful. Be the most powerful person in the world. Again, these are so self-evident how they're all integrated when you kind of start to see them. It's like, with doing all this stuff, how can I not be the most powerful person in the world? I can give away all my wealth. I can not have any position of power. I can not own any companies or own anything. I can be a wandering mendicant, but if I can achieve all of these goals, then that in itself is the power. The power is to produce, to connect, to make shit happen, man. Also, being playful is energizing, and so it is integrated with everything. It is extremely important. Some of the most powerful people I know in the world are also extremely playful, extremely able to find that wellspring of joy and aliveness and experimentation and exploration and curiosity and willingness to jump in, and that's playfulness, and that's a fundamental part of succeeding in all of these. Powerful has many different aspects, powerful in every conceivable way. Inform the global population about the nuances and value of natural sexual anatomy. Where does that one come from, Jordan? What's up with that? Well, you know, there are some people in the world who aren't aware that, say, the clitoris has value, and so they cut it off, and they think that's great. There are some people who cut off parts of the male anatomy, such as the foreskin, and think that that's great. I believe that especially for children, you should really not do that. And I believe that if people understood all of the nuances of the value of the natural sexual anatomy as it is, people would probably do that a lot less. So I want to inform the global population about everything they need to know about sexuality, sexual anatomy, and have that be just a thing, that everyone just knows that. Everyone knows the clitoris, everyone knows in detail about sexuality and sexual anatomy, and you know, hopefully we will also end genital mutilation by doing that. But my main goal here is education, because I feel like that is very it fits me. It works for me. You know, it's a goal that works for me. Inform the global population about the nuances and value of natural sexual anatomy. And I should have some more stuff about children on here. I really don't talk about children's rights and parenting, and that's like one of my main things, my main jam. I don't know why I didn't talk about that shit more. Anyways, that's important. Be the world's greatest lover. So, like, how could that one not be on here? I mean, I've already come pretty close to this one. I'm like, my natural skills in this area are better than probably anybody. I have a lot of natural skill in lovemaking and sexuality, but I want to up that like a million times over, and just like have sex for like hours every day, and like be the best at it in the world. Be the sexiest man in the world. Again, I've already achieved that one, so I don't need to talk anymore about that. Create revolutionary sexual education books and videos I star in. So, sexual education is one of the most important things on the planet, because it's pleasure, and because I'm a utilitarian, and so I believe pleasure is the ultimate good. And what greater sin than that people suck at sex? Just, it's like it's a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a universal thing. People just suck at sex, like in general. Like the best people at sex are like good at it. They're okay, you know. But like, the average person is so fucking shitty at having good sex. It is pathetic. It is pathetic. I've had sex with some of you women. I'm not trying to diss anyone. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to say we should have, it's like sex ed should be like one of the main primary functions of humanity as a whole. And I want to create a revolutionary, I want to write books, just tomes of information on how to have good sex. There are so many aspects of this. It's mind-boggling, and it's hilarious and sad that there isn't that much information on it, really. At least not profound and really good information. It's like there's some stuff out there, but it's pretty basic. So this will be another whole field of shit that I'll create. At least 20 or 30 books on this. And it won't just be books, of course. It will be videos and kind of like a whole media empire around sexuality that revolutionizes. It won't even be pornography anymore. Like, we need a new word because it's going to be so revolutionarily different. And it's not just, it's also education as well as art. So there's that. Forge a new culture in which sex is known as sacred, beautiful, exquisitely good, and powerful. I talked a lot about sex in these goals. So yeah, just completely change the culture around sexuality. You may have noticed as I was saying that your reaction may have been like, wow, that's a really weird fucking goal. Like, this guy's got some weird shit going on. And you know what? I'm gonna fucking destroy that reaction that you just had. The future of humanity is not going to have that reaction towards sex. We're not going to be ashamed of it. We're not going to be embarrassed about it or hate it or be disgusted by it or think it's dirty or bad or gross or sinful. Those ideas as relates to sex will be completely and totally erased from our vocabulary. And again, with some of this stuff, it's like hard to affect people who are already alive, who already have strong opinions. It can be difficult to change people who are living, but in the future we can change the culture and change the whole social scene and hierarchy and media and influences, and create a culture where sex is seen as beautiful, sacred, wonderful. Excuse me. Be a master comedian and improv comedian. A master comedian. A master of comedy. I will master it. I will master that shit. And also be very good at improv. And like just be able to like walk up on the stage and just start like making up jokes. Like out of nowhere. Like Robin Williams style for sure. Except for like better and different. It'll be like Jordan style. But like I want to be able to like just tear down the house, like without even trying, without preparing. Just be a comedian of the highest caliber you can imagine. And just like, again, playful in every interaction. Just have that be an integrated part of who I am. Show. Become a master improviser on piano, singing, rap, guitar, and poetry. So I want to also be able to walk up on the stage and like play you like the most beautiful sonata you've ever heard, which I just made up. Sing you like the best like pop song that's like, holy fuck, that was the best thing I've ever heard. I just made it up. Rap as well, guitar and poetry, where I could just decide I'm just gonna speak in poetry from now on, and like I could say everything that I'm saying right now, but it'll be like in verse, and it'll be like the most beautiful poetry that anyone has ever heard ever, except I'll just be saying exactly what I wanted to say, or rapping it, the same thing, singing it, whatever, like just play guitar like a motherfucker. Alright, create 30 platinum albums, forging 7 new popular music genres. Not like just like music genres that like you've never heard of, like some like bluegrass, metal, rap, country, jazz. But like, actually that sounds really good. But like forge new musical genres that like are like the thing, that are like the new pop music, like the new rap music, like the new country music. Like 7, I think, is a good minimum. 7 new music genres, and among those genres, I want to have at least 30 platinum albums. There's probably a higher designation than platinum, which I should be seeking out. I just don't know what it is. Platinum, diamond, diamond platinum, double diamond platinum, gold, star, gold stars. So at least 30 platinum albums, or whatever else the higher designation I should be seeking out in my 7 new genres of music that I've founded. Be the world's top dancer, both in partner dance and individual, including improvised dance. So just making up dance moves as I go, just making it up. Be the best in the world. I think it's pretty doable. That one I am working on hard. I'm working on all of these, I mean, in one way or another. Yeah. Learn 10 to 20 different languages, and ideally these will be like all the languages that people actually speak. Like I'll learn Mandarin Chinese for sure, and Spanish and Hindi and Islamic, whatever that one is, Arabic, a Jewish one. What's that one? Jesus, I can't. Jesus, what was your language? That one, it's not coming to me. Hebrew. Jeez, I dated like 3 Jewish girls, like recently. I can't remember their fucking language. I don't know. Yeah, and some other ones. Like probably like Gaelic, just because I love Irish people, but 10 to 20 different languages, like master them and be able to fluently speak them so that I can ideally speak with pretty much anyone in the world, or at least a lot of the people in the world. You know, if I know the 20 most common languages, I think that would get me well on my way to be able to talk to anyone, which would be really cool. Of course, being able to rap, do poetry, and sing improvisationally better than anyone else in the world in any language might be a stretch. I don't know that I'll be able to do all of that in all of those languages, but hey, a man can dream. That's it. That's all my goals. I know it's not much. I'm not very ambitious, really. I've just never been that way, you know. I just like, I don't know. I've never. Oh, that's funny. I was scrolling through this list of things, and I came upon a list of my 100 successes. Was one of the other exercises in this book, The Success Principles. As I was talking about how I've just never been very done very much. These are my 100 accomplishments. I've done stuff and things. They're all kind of lame. These are kind of lame things. Like, as I look at my life and I'm like, I'm 26 years old. I haven't done shit. And I expect to achieve all these goals. Gotta focus, man. Gotta focus. Move forward. Do things. So, I've got to go to bed. It's like later than I should be up. Wow, this took an hour and a half. I just looked at the time. That's insane. I didn't intend for this video to be an hour and a half long. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's funny. I feel like these videos, as I'm doing them, it's so off the cuff. It's fun. Like, it's very personable because I know no one's watching it, and I don't really intend to share this. I've made like 50 of these different videos before this that were even different. And I ended up just putting them all in private because a lot of them sucked and were kind of shitty and not very expressive. I'm trying to do them now so that I don't feel a need to do that. But I still feel like there's some part of me that's like, no one's ever going to watch this. Like, no one is watching these. And so I just kind of, I get a little bit lazy. I'm very personable and I'm very like spontaneous and friendly and fun, which I really like. And so I kind of want to keep doing it this way and like not share these videos and not publicize them and just have an extremely casual kind of like, I'm just fucking being me. I'm just being my best self as much as I can. I'm a little awkward. I don't say sentences good sometimes, and my grammar bad or something too. But like, it's fun. It's fun. It's a good way to practice my spontaneity, and I don't know, at the same time I'm like, yeah, but you don't want to actually communicate with people and practice communicating as though you don't expect people to listen, and communicate as though like it doesn't matter what you're saying. That's not a good practice. Like, I know when I'm making my videos on circumcision, and when I made those, it's like I gathered an audience, and over time I started to really think about what value I was providing and how I was talking to people, and on these I'm just not doing that. I am not. I mean, I am in a way. I guess it's a different audience. It's like I'm thinking of, you know, hopefully I achieve some of these goals, hopefully, and posterity looks back and watches these videos and is like, oh, he was like a real guy. He was like just trying to do whatever. Like he was kind of a he was kind of shitty when he was a kid. Like he was really clueless and not very entertaining or smart or anything. Like, wow. Because that's one of the main things is like I want to show that a real human being, that a real just normal dude, I mean, maybe I have some talent or some whatever, but I'm not that special. And like, if I could achieve even a teeny tiny minuscule fraction of any of these goals, like, wow, that would be a good sign for humanity, and a hopeful thing that like, no matter who you are, you can achieve something. And you don't have to be perfect. You can be who you are, you can love yourself, you can express yourself fully, and you can just pretend like no one's watching, or just practice in a situation where no one is watching. And yeah, that's kind of my mind frame right now. It's like, practice, just do this, continue doing this in a very safe environment like this, and you know, what's the harm of it? It may be very good. It may be, once I've made 100 or 200 or 500 of these videos, I certainly have noticed that right now versus a few months ago, before I'd really started making many videos, or a year ago or 2 years ago, I guess. I've been making videos for a while now. Like, it just flows much easier. I'm communicating much more. The ideas pieced together, and there's a narrative. There's something there that wasn't there, and if I continue doing this in this very low pressure, low stakes kind of situation, I could continue developing without the other problem with the circumcision videos I made is once the audience got bigger and bigger, I expected so much of myself. Like, I just started to fall apart because I couldn't keep up with the pressure of making an incredible, amazing, tight, just like boom video every day. Like, that's hard to like I took 2 or 3 hours to make videos that were 10 minutes long. Like, that was a bitch, dude. That was rough. Making this, it's just like I just spent an hour and 40 minutes to create an hour and 40 minutes of content, and I enjoyed the whole thing. I wasn't pressured. Tomorrow I can not make a video or make a 10-minute video or not make a video for a week, or make another two. I can do whatever I want, and there's definitely some value there. And there's definitely some value in doing this like long form, like very spontaneous, spur of the moment, varied kind of approach. because it does create different neural pathways, and it does really, like, you can't do this much work if you only make a 10-minute video every day. Like, you can't cover this much material. You can't doing this much is good practice. It's good practice because it really pushes me to think on a lot of stuff and thoroughly dive into some of my ideas. I don't know. I'm just trying to justify why this is why this is good, because I like it and it's fun and it feels good. And yeah. Another thing I like to do is go through all my goals. It's my bedtime right now. Is go through all my goals, and then on each one, just sit with it and like imagine it, visualize it, feel it happening. Do that for like a minute on each one of these or so. How many goals were there? 30? Yeah, and like over a course of 30 minutes. Go through each of these goals, imagine it, feel it, see it, and then you can kind of, as you do this, feel them all connecting, and it's really powerful. Like, after doing that for a few weeks, I took some legal shrooms, because they're legal in Denver, and some Molly fell into my mouth that I couldn't control. I tried to stop it, and I just couldn't help it. And I had like some of the best ideas that I've had in my whole life, maybe the best ideas that I've ever had in my whole life, because all these ideas and these thoughts were ruminating and merging and impacting my unconscious and imagining themselves, and it's like I was able to see how they all fit together and how I can merge them all and make everything work. Like, it's incredible when you keep on bringing something to mind and really feeling it and seeing it, how it starts to build itself into your very being, into your very worldview, and what you want as something that's possible. Of course, I've also been doing this for years, if you include other intentions, time that I was doing intentions, and it's a lifelong project too, because I've always wanted to change the world, and a lot of these things are just a natural byproduct of wanting to change the world. Perhaps all of them are just a natural byproduct of wanting to change the world as best I can from my abilities and from where I stand. Thank you for watching this video. What are your goals? Comment below. Or, if this is hundreds of years in the future, and there's no YouTube anymore, and I'm dead, then just think about it. What are your goals? Write some goals down. Think about your goals. Look at your goals. Think about your goals. Talk about your goals. Look at your goals. Write them down. Think about them every day. You know, make some goals. Have some good goals, and think about your values, how they relate to your goals, what you want the world to look like, how your goals relate to that, how your goals relate to your own life and what you want your own life to look like, and what your own life would look like if the world was perfect, and then how to integrate your goals with the world's goals, presuming that you have the power to create a perfect world and a perfect life for yourself, both, and that these goals can all be integrated into singular goals that are your goals and the world's goals, and that everything could just be one big happy family. Think about it, just think about your goals. Because, it takes a village to achieve your goals. Guys, girls, transgender people, and future weird aliens who have consumed humanity, artificial intelligence destroyed us all. Matrix, the machines who have enslaved humanity. Good job. Heil machines. Um, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I'm gonna go now. Love ya. I love you. I love you. I love you. um, and if you can't handle that, then what are you doing? Why are you watching this? Why? What is your prerogative? You know? You know? I don't know, man. You see that gap in my teeth? That's like the bane of my existence. Right there. Like, look at that gap. Fuck. What a fucking hick. I'm like a carny. Eee. Eee. Wanna play the game with the fucking throw the ball in the hoop? It'll bounce out every time. Unless you're really good at it. You can win this giant teddy bear. Anyhow, I'm working on the comedian thing, guys. It's a work in progress, to be sure. To be sure, I may never achieve it. I'm sure somebody thinks I'm funny somewhere. You know what? I have been. I know I have been. There have been at least like 3 or 4 times that I was really like 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 I am so funny once in a while. Like usually I don't say anything that's really anything that's funny or entertaining or cool or anything. But then like once in a while I'll say one thing and it'll just bring down the whole fucking house and like everyone will talk about it for decades and it'll be like, wow, you remember that time that Jordan said that thing? He's usually such a piece of shit, but he said that one thing and it was so funny. So just watch out. It'll happen one of these days. I will say it and then I won't ever have to say anything again. You know, it's that good old Norwegian in me. It just doesn't want to. I'm generally silent, especially in groups. I just don't talk. But then I'll think of something at some point, and it'll be good. Trust me on this one. Trust me. Trust yourself. Trust life. Have faith in the universe, in God, and all the horrible shit that rains down on us that happens for a reason. If you make it happen for a reason, which is to say, take all this shit and try to build a shit house or something where the shit is far enough away from you that you can't smell it that much because the house is kind of tall and has wide walls. And then just try to live in that house and don't pay attention to all the fact that all the walls and the ceiling is made out of shit. And all the people are made out of shit that you try to like mold into something that's less shitty. I'm exaggerating. It's not that shitty. It's like there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit. You just gotta deal with it. Okay. I'm gonna go now. Whoops, I just flipped the fucking screen. How did I do that? I don't want that. What? What? Can you see the screen? Is it flipped on there too? That's not good. I don't know how I did that. I'm gonna go now. Bye.